Oh, hello there. I didn't really see you there. My name is Fernando Rodriguez. I went to the Sikh Temple of North Texas. The Sikh Temple of North Texas, also known as the Sikh Temple Garland, is located in Garland, Texas on Oates Road. It was established in 1976. It serves as a place of worship of members of the Sikh community residing in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. The address for this is 506 Gatewood Drive, Garland, Texas. My experience at the Wardawa, how the Sikhs call it, my experience at the Wardawa and going to this temple was a very great experience. I arrived at the location of the temple. I went in and I was received by one of the leaders in the temple, the spiritual leader, and he gave me the set of rules. He told me to put a bandana over my head. They have kind of like a box of bandanas, and they have every time someone comes in, they can use it to wrap their head, to cover their head with it. And also they told me to take off my shoes and my socks to go into the worship site, the Wardawa. And he told me the reason why they do this is because it's kind of a way of showing respecting the holy scriptures, respecting the book, the Sir Guru Granth Sahib book, the book of the gurus. The book was, to show respect to the book. It's kind of like Eastern tradition. So taking off the shoes and putting it's a way of respecting that. I went into the temple, actually inside the temple, and they had an altar in the middle of, kind of like not in the middle, but kind of like towards the back of the place. It was kind of the main focus of the whole temple. It was everything. There's no chairs. There's no anywhere you can sit. They do have chairs, I'm sorry, at the sides where for people who cannot sit on the floor, they can grab a chair, but plainly it's not like a traditional church where you see benches and all. No, it's everybody sits on the floor, and they face towards the altar where they hold the holy scriptures, the Sir Guru Granth Sahib, the book of the gurus of their teachings. And they have the altar there, and they have people playing hymns. They have three spiritual leaders playing hymns, and the music is kind of a Punjab traditional music, and it's great. There's a guy doing a solo towards some of the songs, which I really enjoyed. I'm a musician, so I really enjoy hearing musical creativity, and it was really great. It was really good music to hear. It was very catchy as well. Also, they have, during the songs that they're singing, the hymns, they also have it translated in English. They have the original Punjab language, and then beneath it, they have it translated into English so you can read and understand what they are singing. Overall, they sang for around 45 minutes. During this course of time and throughout the whole service, people came in, they gave their offerings, they bowed down to the altar where they were holding the Sir Guru Granth Sahib book, the book of the gurus, bowing down to the book, putting their offerings. And they also had people exchanging positions. They had at least, I think, 3 exchanges where they had a guy waving, they call it the shaur, which is kind of like a fan, or kind of like they're waving it behind on top of the book. The reason why they do this, the reason why is to show that the book has the highest authority, that the book has that is the ultimate authority. It's kind of like the king. A king sort of say, how the spiritual leader would explain to me was that a king used to have a somebody holding it on top of their head, and that kind of symbolizes authority and ultimate over everything. So it's the same way they do it with the book of the gurus, which is the ultimate authority and kind of sort of like a king, so to speak. And they had people exchanging, waving it, symbolizing that. But after we were finished, there, well, before I get to that, they also had the women and men separated. They had the man over here and the woman over there to represent social order, as the guy was explaining to me, the spiritual leader, that represents social order, and so that they had that as well. But they were finished singing, and then one of the spiritual leaders was giving not a sermon. It was no sermon, but it was kind of like chant and kind of spiritual teachings from the book, and people were reciting, repeating what the spiritual leader said. So he said something and the people also repeated it as well in the original Punjab language, but they also had the translated. They also had it translated in the walls, you know, in the projectors. So I could understand what they were saying, and it was very good. It also, so the guy, you know, was repeating scriptures, and people were repeating, and almost towards the end of the service, there was a guy with a bucket. He had a bucket, and in that bucket were some food that they had. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But in the bucket there was food, and during the service they were giving these kind of it was kind of sweet. I don't know, it was kind of mushed together, kind of like cookie dough, but it wasn't cookie dough. Serving it to every member of the temple, and they were eating it, and he gave them to me too. I thought it was really good. And the reason why they do this is because it was symbolism for receiving knowledge, that we receive some sort of spiritual knowledge in the service. So I thought it was pretty fascinating as well. And also, once they finished, they grabbed one of the spiritual leaders, grabbed the book, they put it over their head, and they carried it into the special room. And it was sort of like, the spiritual leader explained to me, it was sort of like a symbolism for the book sleeping. It was and then they come back on Sunday, 2 days later, 1 day later, and because the service is on Friday, they come back Sunday and they carry the book out, and they set it at the top again in the altar, and now after the service they do the same thing again. So it was a symbolic sort of rituals and chanting and hymns from the traditional language, Punjab, up in northern India, where the religion originated from. And I really enjoyed it. And afterwards, the whole service was over. They invited me to eat with them, and the food was amazing. I enjoyed the food. It was again, traditional Indian Punjab food, no meat, sadly. But the food was good regardless. They separated the men and the women again, and they were serving it in buckets. They had buckets, and their guys were walking around serving each dish and serving it in the tray that they had us, and we're sitting on the floor eating it. You know, my feet were asleep. It really hurt when I got up, but yeah, I'm not used to that. But it was a good experience. It was new. There was nothing really I didn't like. Everything I enjoyed, and I thought it was very fascinating as well. Something new that new service I have never seen before, and I learned from it as well, and I would probably go back in the future. So it was a good time for worship. I got to talk to a Sikh where he gave me the definitions and the meanings and about the songs and what we were watching in the report.
To be a Sikh means to be a student or a learner. The word Sikh in Punjabi, the language of the Sikhs, or the state we come from is Punjab, and our language is Punjabi. And to be a Sikh means to be a student or a learner. So in the Sikh religion, it is very heavy on learning and always being open to receiving knowledge from our gurus, or anybody who is a teacher is a guru. So we are essentially just lifelong learners.
What is a guru?
A guru is a teacher, or one who, in Punjabi, guru is darkness and ru is light. So a guru is literally somebody that takes you from darkness to light, or
kind of like enlightening.
Sort of, yeah. But any kind of learning you do is considered kind of enlightening yourself.
So can you become a guru, or is it you already have gurus established?
Everybody is basically, anybody you learn from becomes your guru.
Okay.
There were the first 10 gurus who were the founders of the Sikh religion, And then after the 10th Guru, he made our holy book. He made that the Guru for life, so that nobody else could take on the role. Now, so that is the main teacher of the Sikhs, and like what has codified all of the teachings of our 10 Gurus. But technically, anybody who you learn from is your Guru.
So you learn from your dad, I guess?
Yeah, learn from. That's what you come here to do. Come here to learn from, I guess, our priests who are gurus of sorts. Learn from your family. I learned from my grandfather, my dad, my mom, all my aunts and uncles.
So what was the thing you guys were carrying?
That was the Guru Granth. Guru Granth, which means the big or the grand Guru, which is our holy book in which all of the teachings of our first 10 Gurus are contained.
That was really fun. I was really interested to know. Why did they give us something to eat? Like towards the guy who handed me some like.
Yeah, it's called prashad. Yeah, which basically signifies you receiving the knowledge, or you receiving something from your guru.
And the songs and the hymns, what was it? Where did they come from? Or how?
The hymns have come from many different places, many different. Some of them were from the gurus, the first 10 teachers of the Sikh religion. I guess the people who founded the religion. Other ones came from various poets and other holy men throughout the times that were then compiled into the holy book. So most of these hymns are about 600-700 years old and have just kind of formed a part of the religion and a way to like pass it onwards.
So how old is the religion?
Religion was, our first guru was born in 1469 and he founded the religion at about 30-40 years of age. So around really the 1500 like was when this was really started.
So what happens in the afterlife, or what is it that you guys, is it like kind of like Hinduism where you guys
there's a kind of reincarnation.
Yeah. So what do you guys reincarnate to? How is that decided?
It's not really decided. It's basically the main aim of this religion, or what they teach us, is to get closer to God. And how you become eventually one with God is to stop being reincarnated. It's like, and in your human form, you have a final chance to get finally like close with God. So after you have completed your human life, either you have become spiritual enough to connect with God, or you pass.
Thank you, sir.
Good, very good guy.
Thank you, sir.
Or you
can
pass.
ask him anything.
Or you pass throughout basically the 8.4 million lives of other creatures until you can become human again.
So in the beginning, so it just goes from you guys sing your hymns, and then from there you receive the spiritual lesson from one of the gurus, and then from there you carry the holy book inside to this place, and then it's like your dad was telling me that it's kind of like singing, like sleeping or something like that.
Kind of, because it's the most holy thing in our religion. We leave it somewhere at night and then take it back out in the mornings. And that's usually the end of the proceedings that happen at night.
And then tomorrow you guys are going to come in and do the whole thing again?
Basically.
Oh, okay.
At the morning they'll take it out, and at night they'll put it back kind of in its own room. Yeah.
Nice. So you say you were, how long? Like, since you were a kid?
Basically, I've been coming to the Gurdwara.
So what's it called?
Gurdwara.
Gurdwara.
Gur, like, is house of gurus, so Gurdwara.
So this is what, it's not really called temple, it's called a Gurdwara.
Gurdwara. Yeah. I mean, in English you would call it a Sikh temple, but
Sikh temple.
yeah. But for us it's called Gurdwara, which means where the guru dwells, or like where God dwells, basically.
So pretty much you're trying to find one being with God.
Kind of, yeah.
Overall, the experience at the temple was great. People were welcoming, people were saying hello to me, and people were inviting me back. I got to talk to several people that were really nice, several Sikhs, and it was really great. I really liked it. It made me feel welcome, and it made me feel invited, and they invited me to come again, which I will probably do so.